Range cooktop acting up? Well, I'm Dustin, the parts doctor, and today I'm going to show you how to remove, test, and replace the infinite control switch which controls the dual element on the top of this Frigidaire range. It's super simple. I'll show you step by step, so let's jump right in. If you need to purchase a replacement dual element infinite switch for your Frigidaire range, you can check out our website, partsdoctor.com, where we offer fast shipping and only sell manufacturer-approved genuine replacement parts for all major appliance brands. Tools needed for this repair: a T15 and a T20 Torx screwdriver or bits, and a multimeter if you're planning on testing your old infinite switch. Since you'll be replacing and testing electrical components, please remember to disconnect your appliance from the power source before beginning. If you're having issues with the cooktop on your electric range, a faulty infinite switch could be the cause. The infinite switch controls the frequency that power is sent to the burner element. When you turn the control knob on and select a setting, power flows through the switch. The components inside the switch will then automatically cycle the burner's power on and off based on the power setting that you've chosen. Common signs of a bad infinite switch could include a cooking element that won't turn on or off, only works on high no matter where you turn the knob, or the element on indicator light stays on even if the switch is turned off. You might also notice that the burner element won't regulate the proper temperature, leading to uneven cooking. Later in this video, I'll show you how to test the infinite switch with a multimeter to help narrow down if the switch is actually causing the problem. To access the infinite switch, first open the oven door and locate the 3 T15 screws under the control panel where the switches are mounted. Using your T15 screwdriver, remove the 3 fasteners from the underside of the control knob panel. Lift the front of the control panel slightly, then locate the mounting pins and indents that will hold it in place while you work. Place one hand on each side of the cooktop and lift the front of the cooktop off the mounting pins and slowly move it forward enough to rest the cooktop on the mounting pins. Use the indents on the bottom of the sides of the cooktop panel to hold the cooktop in place to be able to access the screws to remove the control panel. Be careful not to apply outward pressure to the control panel as you can damage the panel. Once the cooktop is securely resting on the mounting pins, locate the screw holding the control panel to the cooktop. There is one screw on either side of the panel attaching the panel to the bottom of the cooktop. Remove each fastener. With the screws removed from either side of the panel, slide the panel forward to free it from the mounting clips on the front of the cooktop. You should now be able to see the backside of the infinite switches. Locate the switch that you want to test and snap a photo of the wiring connections on the back of the infinite switch for reference later. Once you have a photo where the wires connect to the switch, remove all the connections from the back of the infinite switch. While it is possible to test the switch while attached to the control panel, for the sake of the video, we will remove it before testing. To remove the infinite switch, apply firm, gradual pressure to pull the knob off the control arm. Then, unscrew the 2 T20 fasteners securing the switch to the control panel located next to the control arm. Once the screws are removed, the switch will now be free from the appliance. On the back of the switch, you'll see several terminal connections, each labeled by a number or letter. Each of these terminals connect power to different components on the range. On this particular switch, the P1 and 2 connections control the main power through the switch. The P2 and 4 connections control the inner burner. The P2 and 4A connections control the expanded or outer burner, and the S1 and S2 connections control the cooktop indicator light. First, we'll test to be sure that the infinite switch isn't shorted, which would allow power to pass through it when it's not supposed to. Set the switch to the off position, then set your multimeter to the continuity setting. Check for continuity between the following connections: P1 and 2, P2 and 4, P2 and 4A, S1 and S2. There should be no continuity or beep for any of these connections. If you detect continuity, this indicates a short in the switch and it should be replaced. If no continuity is found, we'll move on to testing the switch in the on position. Next, we'll test the knob set to only the inner element, represented by the single circle on the control knob. Turn the knob to any on position for the inner element, then use your multimeter to check for continuity between these terminals. P1 and 2, P2 and 4, S1 and S2. There should be continuity between each of these connections. If there is not continuity between any of these connections, the switch is faulty and should be replaced. Now let's test with the knob set only to the expandable element, represented by the 2 circles on the control knob. Turn the knob to any on position for the expanded element and use your multimeter to check for continuity between the following terminals. P1 and 2, P2 and 4, P2 and 4A, S1 and S2. If any of them lack continuity, the switch is defective and should be replaced. If you need to purchase a replacement dual element infinite switch, visit our website partsdoctor.com. We'll include a link in the description below. Be sure you use the full model number from your appliance's tag to ensure that you find the correct part and color. To install the infinite switch, ensure that the word top on the back of the switch is facing upward. Align it with the control panel by inserting the control arm through the panel. Secure the infinite switch to the control panel using the 2 T20 fasteners. To ensure proper alignment, start both screws before fully tightening them. Once both are in place, tighten them securely. Refer to the photo that you took earlier to reattach the wires and connectors to the back of the switch. On our model, the connector with the purple and black wires attaches to the bottom. Above that, the orange wire connector goes in with the orange wire on the left, and the single red wire connects to the top left P1 terminal. Double check that all connections are securely attached to the infinite switch. Then, slide the mounting tabs inside of the cooktop and align the control panel with the clips at the bottom of the cooktop and press it into place. Ensure that the panel aligns with the front and sides of the cooktop. Insert a T15 screw into the mounting hole on the side of the bottom of the cooktop, ensuring that the screw goes into the mounting tab of the control panel. Fully tighten and repeat on the other side. Once the control panel is secured, gently lift the cooktop and slide it back into place on the appliance cabinet. Make sure the mounting pins align with the mounting holes. The cooktop should stay in place if it's properly seated on the mounting pins. Insert and fully tighten all 3 T15 screws in the bottom of the control panel and close the oven door. Reattach the knob on the control arm and re-establish power back to the appliance, whether plugging it back into the wall or turning it back on at the breaker. Now it's time to test the element. Let's start with a smaller element, which you'll recognize on the switch as the single circle. Turn the switch to medium and check 2 things. First, the element itself should begin to heat up, and second, the element on light should illuminate. Once you've confirmed that the inner element works on its own, let's move on to the dual expandable element. This is labeled on the knob by the 2 circles. Turn the knob to medium and check for the element on light to illuminate. Both the inner and outer rings of the element should turn on and begin to heat up. Please note that if you do not have a pot or pan on the element, it might stop heating after a moment. This is normal and can sometimes make people think that their cooktop isn't working properly. It's actually a safety feature because without cookware to pull the heat away from the element can overheat and it shuts itself down to prevent damage. To properly test the cooktop, place an appropriately sized pan filled with water on the element. The water and pan will then absorb the heat, allowing the element to stay on as intended. If both sides of your dual element control switch seem to be working, Congratulations on completing the repair. Your cooktop is now ready for use. Well, that'll do it for today's video. As always, I'm Dustin, the Parts Doctor. Until next time, thanks for watching, and we'll see you later.